Welcome back to the Ultimate 180, where we flip what you think you know upside down so you can finally make lasting change and create a life you actually love. In today's episode, I am sharing my number one reason why you need to stop chasing happiness if you want to have a life you truly love. And let me be clear, this one mind shift will change how you show up, how you build your future, and how you experience everything in between. Because chasing happiness, that's a trap. So let's get started as we navigate change together, 1 degree at a time. Let's do this. Hey, it's Christina Walker, and thanks for joining me today at the Ultimate 180. So why would I tell anyone to stop chasing happiness? I mean, that sounds cruel, just really mean, doesn't it? And I am not trying to be mean. I honestly want to help you. But my point is that happiness is an emotion. It's fleeting. It comes, it goes, just like the weather. And if you are basing your whole life around trying to feel happy all the time, trying to grasp at that, you are setting yourself up for disappointment, burnout, and an absolute emotional roller coaster. Now, joy, on the other hand, is completely different. Joy is a state. It's stable. It's grounded. It's peaceful. And most people don't realize that when they say, I just want to be happy, what they're really craving is joy. So last week in episode 47, I read a children's book that I wrote about a little girl named Joy and her encounter with something that I called the void, which is a metaphor for fear, disconnection, and emotional heaviness. And if you haven't listened to it yet, I highly recommend going back and checking it out, because whether you read it with your kids or just let it speak to you, that grown up inside you, the story holds the deeper truth about joy we're unpacking here today. So it's best to watch it on YouTube or ultimate180.com, because you also get to see all the illustrations. But either way, it'll be just fine. And this episode, this is where we take the idea of joy and make it into your everyday life. So let's break that all down for you. Oh, happiness and joy. To me, that is, it's a pretty deep episode, because I don't think a lot of people realize how much that happiness is. It's really just an emotion. It's when that feeling that you get, it's a feeling, right? Where joy is a state. It's a state of being, because happiness is reactive, right? When something's good, it happens, and you feel happy. And it fades though, right? It fades fast. It's unpredictable. Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're not. It's where joy is actually proactive. It's cultivated. It's a state that you practice living in. Do you start to hear the difference in that? Joy does not require perfect circumstances, because it grows from your internal alignment. That, to me, is one of the biggest differences that people don't understand. That joy does not, being in a state of joy does not create, it doesn't come from all of your outside circumstances being perfect and being so that you can be happy. That's not where it stems from. And I find that really powerful. And that's why I think people really crave joy over happiness. Because do you really want to just be happy here and there, up and down, or do you want, no matter what is going on around you, do you still want to feel that calm state of peace? It's an interesting question. Chasing happiness also traps you in those highs and lows of life. It absolutely traps you, because you feel good, so you chase more, and then you feel bad, and then you panic, right? Because you're like, oh, happy, felt good. I want to go do that. More. And then something bad happens. You have a bad day, and then you're panicked because you're like, wait, I want to get that feeling back. That's what happiness does to you when you chase happiness. It's this constant loop, right? Of you trying to fix yourself. You're trying to fix your emotion instead of owning the power that you have inside, power that we can have called joy. Because you don't need more control over life when we start to feel like we need control over life, because we don't have control over life. I think we all know, I mean, we try, but that's when something happens, right? We don't have ultimate control over everything in our life, especially when we're chasing happiness, because that it's fleeting, it's an emotion. And so when you connect with your inner joy, that is when you actually have the feeling of more control in your life, because the outside circumstances we can't control. But when we can control the inside, we can actually stay in a state of joy. And that is true power. And the pursuit of joy is what can bring you peace, even in the chaos. And that's what we learned last week, right? That's that in that book, right? The joy that you can also remain in despite what's going on, despite the chaos. You can actually help other people, the people around you that are experiencing chaos and fear and all of those things. You can only truly help them if you are in a state of inner joy, in inner peace, because joy is steady. It actually can coexist alongside grief and stress and even doubt, because it's not loud. It's calm, it's certain, and it lives inside you. And I think that's really what we're really after, is we're after the peace, we're after purpose, we're after presence. And that all comes from the state of joy. That's not happiness. Happiness is an emotion, right? It's up and down. And that's why I was saying you can have joy. You can still maintain joy and that state of peace inside, even when things around you aren't all that great. And in fact, that is what attracts more of the things that you want in life when you can attain and practice those states of joy. Because that's when that big radar goes on in your life. You know, I talk about your brain and the radar, right, going off, and you start to hear more opportunities and things going on in your life that you didn't even see before, because that radar was kind of shut off and it was focused on, oh, I want to be happy, and I'm focused on this thing and that bad thing and this good thing and this bad thing, instead of just focusing on being at peace. And it really draws in more peace and more things that you want in life versus happiness. And happiness is part of it. I mean, you get the state of joy. You actually get to experience more happiness. That's just a byproduct. How great is that? So I think the big question here that people always ask me when we get into this philosophical conversation about happiness and joy is, well, then how do I get into this state of joy? Please tell me. So I have a few examples here of how to practice. And it's 5 little things to remember. And it really starts with stillness. And it is very difficult for most of us these days to find and stay in stillness. So what I'm asking you is to start with stillness. So even if you can just find 2 minutes of quietness, especially in the morning when you first wake up, set that day in the right motion. First thing in the morning, and it'd be great if you could do it right as you're going to sleep as well. And when you can help take yourself in that calm to drop into the state of calm and self-connect. And the way you do that is, one, is you breathe. Just take some nice, deep, calming breaths. And I'm asking you to feel what comes up when you ask yourself, what brings me peace today? What can bring me peace? What brings me peace? What has brought me peace, if that's easier for you? And if you get into the feeling of what brings me peace today for 2 minutes, that's a practice. You practice. You can say, yes, I practice joy today. Okay. 2 is a big one. Catching yourself every time you say, if only, or once I. And these are thoughts. I mean, you say them out loud too, but I'm talking about the thoughts in your head when you say, like, I'll be happy if only. I can be happy if only this would happen. Or once I have this, I can be happy. Those thoughts, those are like the biggest lies we can tell ourselves, because those things aren't going to bring you happiness. You have to start with the feeling of joy and being happy in an emotion of happy and being in the state of joy so that you can receive all of the wonderful things. And truly, when people say truly be happy, they're really talking about joy. So to truly be happy, you have to have that inside and not wait for those outside circumstances until you get there, because you'll never actually get there. I mean, you may have moments, but you'll never get to stay in that place, because you might get those things. It's like people who want a lot of money. And I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with wanting a lot of money. Not one thing wrong with that. I love having a lot of money. It's great. But it's not the money that brings you the happiness, because people think, oh, once I have this stability, then I'll be happy. But that's not what's going to bring you that peace and of mind, that joy. The money only really pays for you, allows you to do things, allows you to have other experiences, and you should have that too. But if you wait until then to be happy and joyful until you retire or whatever that number is for you, you are wasting your life away. So let's start now, right? Catch yourself, if only one sigh, and instead replace it with, how can I feel grounded and joyful right now, right in the middle of all of this, before any of those things I think that need to happen? How do I get myself grounded right now and get into the feeling of what you think you'll feel like once you get all those things? Feel the feeling of joy right now, in the state of, I have my $10 million, or I have my perfect job, my perfect relationship. Feel what that feels like right now. So swap it out, if onlys or one size, with I feel whatever, to feel that joy right now and get into that state. And then do the number 3, do one thing today that brings you joy, not productivity, not obligation, just pure joy. Color in a coloring book. Oh, I'm coming out with one of those too. It's kind of fun. Color in a coloring book, dance, laugh, share something with a friend, daydream, be silly. Just follow that spark, something that you're like, it just brings you that calm peace, even the emotion of happiness. Just do one thing for yourself. Just one thing. Go down the aisle at Target and look at toys. Pick them up, play with them. It's fun. You might even want to buy yourself one. And 4, set an intention, not a goal. We are so used to setting goals for everything. I'm going to set a goal, but there are no goals to joy. Does that make sense? The goal of joy doesn't even make sense, because it's a state of being. So you want to set an intention. For example, like, today I choose to lead with joy, no matter what comes up. And then say it out loud. Feel it. Today I choose to lead with joy, no matter what comes up. And it brings this sense of empowerment and calm. And even if you have to tell yourself that 20 times a day, but set an intention, not a goal. And number 5, it always helps to repeat the mantra from my book. And if you don't remember it, it's totally fine, because I actually have to read it myself. Be kind to others and do what feels fun. Send loving thoughts out to each and every one. And it sounds simple, but it's really powerful. It is absolutely powerful for a daily reset. And when you do your 2 minutes in the morning, end with that as you walk away. Write it down on a little note card, and then put a little thing, squiggly, joy, because she wrote it. Well, Joy wrote it. Yes. And that is what's going to help you. So stop chasing happiness like it's a goal, because it's not. You do not need a high, right? Happiness is a high. You need a stable, consistent, loving home. And joy is home. It's quiet, deep, stable, and it's always available when you return to yourself. And the more you practice living in joy, the less life will feel like it's happening to you, and the more it will feel like it's happening through you. Thank you so very much for joining me today. And hey, you absolutely do not want to miss my next episode because it's already been recorded and it gets real. So I am going to let you in on a moment where I lost connection to my joy, and you'll actually be witness to it, where everything felt heavy, off, confusing, and I share it in the moment, not after I had it all figured out. It's raw, it's real. So come back next week for that raw, honest conversation. It might be exactly what you didn't know you needed to hear. So remember to tap that follow button, subscribe, and tag me with your biggest takeaway. And if you want to dive deeper, then let's discover what's ultimately possible with you. Grab my free workbook, join the VIP group, either at ultimate180.com, on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your shows.